presentation on love, part 2. Kada Sidhu?
Yeah, I want Pawan.
Okay.
Jai
All
Baba.
right. Jai Baba Sidhu.
Presentation ఏం లేదు స్పీచే ఓకే ఓకే స్టార్ట్ చేస్తున్నా జై బాబా when we think of God one thing comes into our mind. How should we treat God? What is my relationship with God? Should I worship him, love him? What is the best procedure? So many paths were established by previous perfect masters and avatars like Karma Yoga, Gnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, path of devotion, path of love, etc. When the aspirant takes the path of devotion, the aspirant expects something from God, expects God to favor something in the form of job, in the form of money, in the relief of curing some disease, etc. There is an expectation of something from God. In love, there is no expectation, Baba said. To love me for what I may give you is not loving me. Love means to give up everything and wanting nothing in return. This is called love. Lover is prepared to sacrifice own love for beloved. The sublimity of love wants nothing. Love has no limit, but the mind comes in the way. The obstacles cannot be removed without my grace. It is impossible because mind has to annihilate itself. For example, if one were to ask to jump over oneself, the most one could do would be to take a somersault. Yet, it is impossible to jump over oneself. One may jump over others, but not over oneself. So one may want to realize Baba as he really is, but the obstacle remains. Books and discourses will not bring about one's so spiritual regeneration. Mind cannot be annihilated by mind, for one cannot jump over oneself. Only by loving me as I ought to be loved can the mind be destroyed. Anyone may have love for me, but not the love I want. In spite of all explanations and readings of books, words remain mere words. They do not take one any further than intellectual satisfaction. Only love for God works the miracle because love is beyond mind and reason. Where then is the necessity to read authoritatively say, I am the ancient one. I have been saying this to the entire world. If you love me with all your hearts, you shall be free eternally. Directives on love by Baba. If you really want to live a life of love and service, when you really have that want, you will not you will not need to worry how to lead that life. You will live it. I love you. Don't worry about your weakness. Eventually, they will go even if they linger. Love will one day consume them. Everything disappears in the ocean of love because I love you. You have a pool of love within you. My best advice to you is to create love for God. Earn something in my contact. Otherwise, if you spend time in discussions on religious doctrines and dogmas, it will take you nowhere towards truth. It is all rigmarole and will waste your precious time and might better be used in thinking of God, meditating and creating love. Love is the essence of all religions and the only essential of all needs. Leave the rigmarole alone. To love those whom you could not hate is natural, but to love those whom you cannot love is to love me as I should be loved. Love is the most precious offering one can give. One can give an episode. This is a small story. A poor carpenter had done his utmost to erect Baba's hut in Mehrastan in Hamirpur. While laboring in the cold day and night, he has fallen ill. He was so ill that when Baba arrived, he could not attend Baba's darshan program. The next day, the crowd trailing behind, Baba himself came to the poor man's tiny one room hut. Hearing the noise outside, he came outside and was dazed to see. He was dazed at seeing Meher Baba there. He ran to him like a crazed man and fell at his feet. Baba and Mandali raised him upon his feet and led him inside to his bed. Sitting next to him on the broken cot, Baba wiped away his tears with his hand. "O Lord, forgive me," the man cried. "I cannot offer you anything, no fruit, no flower, no coconut. Still, you have been merciful enough to enter the poor carpenter's hut." In response, Baba patted his cheeks and told the carpenter, "I do not need anything but your love." Meher Baba told all his followers to follow how to love God. To love God in the most practical way is to love our fellow beings. If we feel for others in the same way as we feel for our own dear ones, we love God. If instead of seeing faults in others, we look within ourselves, we are loving God. If instead of robbing others to help ourselves, we rob ourselves to help others, we are loving God. If we suffer in the sufferings of others and feel happy in the happiness of others, we are loving God. If instead of worrying over our own misfortunes, we think ourselves more fortunate than many others, we are loving God. If we endure our lot with patience and contentment, accepting it, accepting it as His will, we are loving God. If we understand and feel that the greatest act of devotion and worship to God is not to hurt or harm any of His beings, we are loving God. To love God as He ought to be loved, we must live for God and die for God. Knowing that the goal of life is to love God and find Him as our own self. And Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba Sidhu.
Jai Baba Sidhu. Well done.
Very well.
Very well and clearly spoken, Sidhu. Great job. Fantastic.
Jai Baba. Thanks, Atta.
Okay, so let's start with any other points, anything. Before I start, open this discussion up to the others. Sidhu, any other points from your own perspective, from an experience while preparing this? Any other thoughts you would like to share? Your own thoughts, yeah, based on love, before I pass it on to others.
లేదు పవన్ డిస్కషన్ ఓపెన్ అయిన తర్వాత ఏమైనా ఇవి వచ్చినప్పుడు వీ కెన్ డిస్కస్.
Okay, all right. Okay, let's move on then. I will come to Krishna Kumaratta a little later so that she can get a feel of how people give their comments, etc. Then I'll not put her in the spot early on Mata. So we'll start from Prabhakar Mai. Prabhakar Mai, any comments, thoughts, feedback from you?
God, loving God అంటే God is present in everybody. And మన బాడీయే టెంపుల్, మన లోపల ఉన్నదే గాడ్. We think because we are identified with the mind, duality is there. God is not outside, within our. So we must love everybody. Just how to love God is the most important points. Will you on? There you go.
Jai Baba Mai. Shakuntala is not there, kada? Then let me move to Chanti Mai. Chanti Mai?
లవ్ గురించి చెప్పాలంటే చాలా ఉంటుంది. లవ్తో వీ కెన్ డూ ఎనీథింగ్, వీ కెన్ విన్ అవర్ ఎనిమీస్ ఆల్సో, అవర్ డిస్ట్రాక్టర్స్ విత్ లవ్. లవ్ అనేది మోస్ట్ పవర్ఫుల్ వెపన్. వీ కెన్ విన్ ఎనీబడి, ఈవెన్ అవర్ ఎనిమీస్, everyone, anything. We can solve any problem through love. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba, Chanti Mai. Let's move to Amma. Unna Amma?
ఉన్నాను. Okay. I'll take only 5 minutes. Okay. Don't exceed. In fact, I want to read one line. God's nature as the ocean of love cannot be grasped by the mind. God has to be known through love, or not through an intellectual search or questioning. Okay. There is an episode here. I would like to narrate this. The following was the dialogue between a rural lawyer and Meher Baba. The lawyer quite frankly but gently told Baba, I have heard many people talk about love, but I still don't know what really love is. Baba asked, are you married? Yes. Do you have any children? Yes. Do you love them? He said, yes. Yes, in the ordinary way, but I cannot say that is real love. My object is to have real love, not this worldly affection and attachment. I visited saints in the hope of experiencing real love, but have not succeeded in any way, that person lawyer said. Baba praised the man's longing for true and divine love and dictated the following. You must first understand what real love means. Selfish motives, even in what people call love, often achieve them, and they mistake selfish feelings for love. I'll make the point clear with an example. A person talking of love will say, I love my beloved, I want my beloved to be with me, and so on. In all these expressions of love, the I and my are predominant. Another example, suppose you find your child running about in tattered clothes and feel unhappy about it, it will pain you, and you will readily feel for him. You will do all in your power to see that he has good clothes and to make the child happy. On the other hand, if you see someone else's child in the street in a similar state, would you feel the same and act as readily as you did in case of your own child? If not, it shows how your attitude to your own child is merely a result of your selfish feelings. Your feelings could be called the outcome of true love only if your attitude towards the unknown child of a stranger in the street were the same as towards your own child under the same conditions. Complete absence of selfishness is true characteristic and real test of pure love. He said, this is very difficult to follow in our day-to-day life. There is four words: apathy, sympathy, empathy, and compassion. Apathy means they don't care about any people, that sort of people. They care about themselves, I, my, mine. Sympathy means at least going to them, talking kind words, how you are suffering. I feel I could have helped you with the words. Empathy means really they are feeling their suffering and express, giving them by relief by doing some sort of help. Compassion means completely jumping into that situation, trying to help. Suppose one lady lost her purse, all her credit cards, money, everything is there. Then by showing sympathy it doesn't work. Compassion means go to her. You want money for your travel towards your thing, whatever necessities you supply to her and help her. That is compassion. To go to that degree, we have to practice little by step. That is my opinion, not opinion. I read Baba's words only about love. Jai Baba. Thank you, Baba. Finished.
Jai Baba Amma, very
Jai.
nice story and very clearly explained Anmata. Very good.
Jai.
I'm going,
Jai.
before I go to Ravi Mai, I'm going to Kiran actually, because I think I saw a message. Kiran, you need to leave Kada for some phone call, office call. So maybe first you give your comments, Kiran.
Yeah, no, good. Thanks, Siddu. Back clear reading. Actually, I don't have much comments, but just one thought that came to my mind in terms of when you were reading the latter part of your speech, Kada, about what love is, the different things, that sounded almost like a prayer. And if you reflect upon that, it says a lot. So in the last law, you had a few sentences. I thought that was really good.
Adi, 8 golden rules by Baba. How to love God, Ani.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's almost like if you read it like a prayer and reflect upon it, I think that's you can just like the repentance prayer, it has a similar feeling to it in terms of reflection. Yeah, Jai Baba. Thank you, Siddu.
Yeah.
Jai Baba Kiran. You're right. Yeah, I was also thinking that's Baba's How to Love God, and that I think encapsulates and summarizes everything about love that Baba talks about. Jai Baba Kiran. I'll pass it on to Ravi Mai. Over to you.
Jai Baba. Siddu ba maatadevra. I was expecting discourses lo first part anta mundu chadivavu. Ippudu nuvu second part chadivaava nuvu antaku mundu chadavani partlani chadivaava nuvu ippudu. That's my question.
నేను నాకు గీత ఇచ్చింది చిన్న ఆ మెటీరియల్ చదివాను.
Jai Baba.
Siddu, we are here. Baba helping us, all of us. We are just instruments. We are all Baba's words from books.
అవునక్క.
Oh, okay. So I thought I was expecting discourse second part finish చేస్తావు అనుకున్నాను, but I started listening How to Love God and My Vision అవన్నీ చదువుతున్నాం అన్నమాట. So I was kind of confused. That's why I'm asking you this question. Yeah, I mean, what you read is nothing How to Love God. That is a very beautiful points that Baba gave. And to be honest with you, when I was young, when I read that, I pakana పెట్టేశాను అన్నమాట. ఏమని, oh, this is not for me. I am not like that. One day, maybe. But pakana పెట్టేశాను అన్నమాట. This is not for me. So if I go back to one point of my life, I never cared for any Baba, any God, any love. Love ante, I used to think only loving my parents, loving my own desires anamata. I mean, I love to ride a bike, or I love to go to movies. I loved to play cricket. చిన్నప్పుడు అంతే కదా మన ఆటలు అదే అనమాట. ఇంకా ఇంటికి వచ్చేటప్పుడు పేరెంట్స్ దే టేక్ కేర్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్. ఐ యూస్ టు టేక్ ఇట్ ఫర్ గ్రాంటెడ్ అనమాట. అమ్మ భోజనం పెడుతుంది, నాన్న ఈజ్ దేర్, హీ విల్, ఇఫ్ ఐ హ్యావ్ ఎనీ ప్రాబ్లమ్ హీ టేక్స్ కేర్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్. That was my definition of love anamata. As I changed in my age, as I was aging, my situations changed. But the problem ఏంటంటే స్కూల్కి వెళ్ళాలి, హోంవర్క్ ఇస్తారు, పరీక్షలు ఉన్నాయి. Sorry, somebody said something.
Go ahead, Mai.
Oh, okay.
No, your just voice echoed a bit. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. As I aged, my biggest problem was, oh my God, I have to go to school and homework, parikshal ki chadavali. That was a big hurdle anamata. I never used to love my education or my homework or anything. It was just a big hurdle because I was comparing with my enjoyments. I want to have enjoyment, play all the time, have fun all the time. That was my thing. And we all know as we age, our desires and you don't mind, Kada, if I take a little bit more time, Pavan, because we have a lot of time. Kada?
Absolutely, Mike. Take your time. I'm not because you're right. We have a lot of time, so take your time and explain. Yes.
So, like this, as we aged, we have focus. Our focus was on different things, and entirely, all our focus was the end point was to see how much enjoyment we had. Later on, one day, I wanted to go to Guntur and see all the cricket players were coming, test players were coming and playing there. I wanted to go there. And my father said no. That was a big disappointment for me. భయం అనమాట గుంటూరు వెళ్తే we were in Tenali and Guntur are almost like twin cities కదా, close to each other, half an hour or 45 minutes bus ride. అప్పుడు ఎర్ర బస్సులు ఉండేవి. Okay, అట్లాగా as we grow older, we were always centered, our life is always centered in our own achievements of our mind. The end point of all the achievements is nothing but a little pleasure ante మాట. మళ్ళీ 10th class pass అయ్యాను, first class లో pass అయ్యాను. And then చదవటం I hated it, but the fact that my number found in the first class, I thought, oh my God, పెద్ద relief అనమాట. And then life went on, and then later on divine love came into my life. బాబా ఇంట్లో అందరూ బాబా గారిని ప్రే చేసేవాళ్ళు, but I never understood what is loving God. I only know loving God is only with the strings attached. My end result is my own enjoyment. That was the only thing. What is loving Baba? I had no idea. Absolutely no idea. And all of a sudden, I finished, Tirupatilo Chinnanna Udina intlo undi. I studied all my education, intermediate, BSc, Ph.D, and Udina undi kabatti I want to say Naveen and Jeevan, they're all my big support anamata. My big support while I was going through. But we don't realize at that time. We don't realize how important these parents, all this support played a role. Later on, when we have the responsibility of giving support to our own kids, then we realize what a support anamata. Support had, there is no, this pure love, right? Manana loved because I am their child, and Vadina, Chinnanna, they loved me. I'm not their child, but still they loved me. And every ఆదివారం వచ్చి వెళ్ళి ఆవకాయ చికెన్ వదిన గుర్తుందా, వదిన ఉందా లేదా, డ్రాప్డ్ అయిపోయిందా. She used to make a very tasty chicken అనమాట చేసాం. It was a big celebration. Later on, Baba came into me and I started, so one step behind, while I was going through my life, I also had a lot of suffering too. I mean, when I was going to the movie, enjoyments. But there was also a lot of suffering. Suffering was my own creation. Oh my God, Sadavala. I put myself a big hurdle on matter. I have to study because I didn't like it. I like these things, I don't like these things. That made me suffer. Those wants and don't wants, that made me suffer. Homework చేయాలా, ఓ మై గాడ్. తర్వాత పిహెచ్డీ చేరాను, మా బాయ్ చదివి చెప్పేవాడు, నాకు అర్థమయ్యేది కాదు, ఏం చేయాలో తెలిసేది కాదు. That made me suffer అనమాట. I didn't pursue with my wholehearted with love. That is the problem. The problem was, had I loved my education, had I loved to take the test, had I loved to read the textbook, my whole life would have been different. That was the problem. I put myself a big block saying that I don't like this. And that blocked me from enjoying anything. But later on, when I came to Baba, and I had such an experience, I never prayed to Baba, even though everyone was praying. I was chanting Baba's prayers and everything. And then I was really not praying to Meher Baba, or not praying to any God, okay? Because I thought it's all imagination. People say God, 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 but what is God? I don't know what that God is. I don't have any experience. So I never paid any attention to that God. Later on, by chance, I was pulled by unexpectedly అనమాట. So నా PhD అయిపోయింది. Then I was at City Pharma వచ్చింది కదా. Many of you know City Pharma. So after my PhD, I was like five years. I spent time, and I was kind of little vexed with doing the PhD. My boss, Chandrasekhar Reddy, he was always interested in power and politics and everything, but he never paid any attention to either guide me or to put me in a right direction. So I happened to have my seniors ఉండేవారు, రవి ఇంకో ఆయన ఉండేవాడు, ఇంకో అతని పేరు మర్చిపోయాను. వాళ్ళ హెల్ప్ ద్వారా I was able to pull along, finished my PhD thesis. Then I told Nana అందరూ ఉండేవారు, I told everybody I did not want to do physics anymore, because at that time the result, if I apply for a job, all I would get was a lecturer position, and I thought that's not a great position. Then I said no. So what all family did, I think most of adults know, they bought the City Pharma. Prasanna Praveen knows, and I don't know about Kiran, Naveen, వీళ్ళందరికీ తెలుసో తెలియదు. But they bought City Pharma. It's a pharmaceutical distribution company. And they put me in charge there. Not in charge, but as a supporting in charge. అక్కడ ఏంటంటే, is a distribution company. We used to get medicines from all the manufacturers, and we used to supply to agents అనమాట. Agents, medicine agents. They used to distribute to all the retailers అనమాట. So there are 3 managers there. One, myself from our side, because all the money we invested to like that. And then Raghu అని ఆయన ఉండేవాడు, ఆయన he had all the experience. And then to give me support, రాఘవల్ గారు అనమాట. And Raghav garu was a very ardent Baba lover, and he's a great Baba lover. And Baba used to give him assignments for his work, avataric work, and to do that. And I had the opportunity to be with Raghav garu for 9 months, I think, 9 months. That's how I got introduced. And then suddenly, at that time, Prasanna was, trying to go for medicine. And then, and Bavagaru ఒకసారి ఏమో పర్లాకి వెళ్ళారు. Then Akka was the only one, and I was there. So Akka came and asked me, Ravi, ఎవరో మహారాష్ట్రలో ఎక్కడో కాలేజ్ ఓపెన్ చేశారంట, మెడికల్ స్కూల్. సో the fees is donation is very less. So can you find out the details? So ఇంకో బాబా లవర్ was going, వాళ్ళ అబ్బాయినేమో 2000 రూపీస్ కట్టి ఇంజనీరింగ్లో చేర్చారనమాట. పేరు మర్చిపోయాను ఆయన పేరు. సో ఆయన వెళ్తున్నారు, ఆయనతో పాటు వెళ్ళి కనుక్కోండి. సో ఆయనతో పాటు వెళ్ళాను. ఇట్ సో హ్యాపెన్ ద కాలేజ్ ఈజ్ నియర్ అహ్మద్ నగర్ దగ్గర అనమాట, ఒక 20 miles from Ahmad Nagar. So along with him we went, and then we went to the college. The college is middle of nowhere. Nothing was there, not even restaurants. That was closed because college was not open. College was going to open after 1 week or something like that. Nothing was there, and I went and tried to see the principal, and the principal was not there. He went to Bombay, and I don't know whom to talk. So he would not be there for 1 week. So I thought I should, I don't know what to do, wait to meet him, because that is the purpose of my visit. And then the college would not open, and Baba garu valla abbai kuda, he doesn't know what to do. Then I had a thought, why don't I go to Mehrabad? Because I was applying for, at that time, I was applying for to get a fellowship and do some fellowship in America anamata. So I thought I should go to Mehrabad, not for Meher Baba, you know. The reason I had at that time was there are a lot of Americans there. If I go to the Pilgrim Center, if I stay there, I can get to meet all these Americans, and I would know, I can talk to them, and I would know what it is life in to lead life in America. That was my whole purpose anamata. Sare Abai Nenu Kalsi, we went to Mehrabad. Mehrabad. అహ్మద్నగర్ వెళ్ళి అటు నుంచి దగ్గరే పక్కనే కదా బస్సులో వెళ్ళాం అనమాట. దెన్ వీ వెంట్ పిలిగ్రిమ్ సెంటర్. వీ సెడ్ we have a place to stay. And they gave us a place. And they gave us, for both of us, they gave in a different rooms అనమాట. One room they gave it to somebody, Mark అని ఒక ఆయన ఉండేవాడు. He was from Minneapolis. Exactly the place where I was planning to go, Rochester, Minnesota. Minneapolis అనమాట. ఆయన దగ్గర కూర్చున్నాను. ఆయన he started talking to me, very nice gentleman. He started talking to me, and after talking to me for an hour, he said, let's go to Upper Mehrabad. I'm going to pray at the tomb. I said, I can spend more time. Anyway, going to tomb was just a normal thing at the time for me, Mata. So I went along with him, walked with him, and while I was walking that day, it was special. Before that, I had been to Mehrabad number of times, and walking there, that day, something was different on Mata. I could not experience what it was. Sare ellamo tomb dekki ellamo, and then there was nobody. One person was there giving prasad, and there is one lady inside, Billy Page's wife అనమాట. ఆవిడ ఏం చేసిందంటే టూంబ్కి మూల కార్నర్లో, అట్ దట్ టైమ్ దే యూస్ టు అలౌ టు సిట్ ఎనీవేర్, ఈవెన్ నియర్ ది ఆన్ ద టాప్ ఆఫ్ ద టూంబ్ ఆల్సో, ఆన్ ద అదర్ కార్నర్ ఆఫ్ ది టూంబ్ అనమాట. షీ వాస్ సిట్టింగ్ అండ్ మెడిటేటింగ్ ఇన్ ఎ వెరీ డీప్ మెడిటేషన్ అనమాట. సో ఐ థాట్, ఐ డోంట్ నో వాట్ టు డూ. So Mark was praying, and I thought I should go and sit. Mark also came inside and sat in a corner, in another corner, on the down anamata. So I went and sat opposite to that lady, on the right side corner, on the upper tomb step మీద అనమాట కూర్చుని, I just want to imitate her అనమాట. So I thought I also sat just like కాళ్ళు మడుచుకుని కూర్చున్నాను మెడిటేషన్ పోజ్లో, అండ్ ఐ టచ్డ్ మై హ్యాండ్స్ ఆన్ ద టూమ్ అనమాట. అండ్ సంథింగ్ ఎక్స్ట్రాడినరీ థింగ్ హ్యాపెన్. ద మూమెంట్ ఐ టచ్డ్ something I just cannot explain with my words. There was sudden change in my whole mental thing. My mind was completely shut down. There was some power completely engrossed me. And my experience was very divine. It is not possible for me to explain what exactly happened. That there was no time, nothing was going on. I even forgot that I was in the tomb. I was in totally different la la land. And after some time, Mark said, let's go. And then I just woke up, and I was walking with a different personality. I was not same like old Ravi about going to America talking. I was totally different. Silently I came down. Then onwards, I met, next day I went to meet Mehrajad, met all the Mani, Mehra, all these people. All members used to be there. This was in 85 August. I met all the people, and everybody came and talked to me. Not many people were there, no pilgrims. So I had a chance to spend all of them, and there's something special about each Mandali member. That time, I felt something different. They all helped me. See, that is how experienced Baba's love. You know. From then onwards, I started pursuing what is love. What is love? And it's very simple. Love is nothing but when you don't have any interest, any strings attached to what you desire, that is love. That is, Baba said, I started reading Baba's books on Mata. Baba said that is the most powerful. And the most powerful physical thing, what we know is the sun, right? We know people cannot even go very near to the sun. It is so, the energy there, all the flames that are coming is so powerful. We can't even go very near to that, that powerful. And Baba said, he compared that. So love is much more powerful than that. So I thought, okay, let me experiment and see what is this love. That is how I started following love, pursuing love, and it is not one-time understanding with intellect and doing the love. You know, yes, intellect is there. We have to use the intellect. I have to follow, and but there is the results you get out of following, implementing the divine love is amazing. It's amazing. It is not one time you just learn, you say, okay, I'm going to apply divine love and start doing. It's a lifelong experience, and you have to go through that. And what Baba said was, why did Baba come? Baba said, I am God. And I used to think when Baba said, I am God, oh my God, he is so egoistic to say, I am God. Because I used to compare with a person, you know, a person. I'm a great guy. If somebody said, I'm a great guy, then we naturally jump into the conclusion, oh, he's so egoistic. You know, that was the mind, right? That was the mind. And when Baba said this, I used to think, oh, he's so egoistic. But after my experience with this, I used to believe everything what Baba was. Baba said, I'm God. And I thought, yeah, he is God. I just took it for granted. And I just started following. Um, yeah, I think I took too much time. People may be tired of hearing to me. So it's my conclusion is Baba's love, not Baba's love, any love that is not strings attached. There is no selfishness. If you are selfish, you are very limited. Whereas if you start following that detached love, that's divine love, the horizons are expands so much, is beyond that. And there is always, if you follow, the suffering gets less and less. Your enjoyment gets more and more. So let's remember that suffering is only caused by us. Anybody is suffering, it is only caused by us. We think that all these reasons why we are suffering, but no, we are the one who are suffering. We are the one who are cause for this suffering. I learned a lot from reading discourses, and it's a beautiful chapter. Baba wrote about love, and the whole discourses is that enormous knowledge. And we're all going through every day. We finish the discourses. The knowledge we have there is not something you read once and gather the knowledge, but you need to read again and again. And especially, there are a lot of important chapters, what I liked it for our spiritual growth. And the love is one of them. And I think Siddu did a great job in the first half explaining it. And second half is still there. Siddu, you still have the responsibility to explain the second part of it. Don't follow anybody. Just follow yourself. Take your own time.
Jai Baba.
And present.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. The second poem, in discourses, there is a chapter on love. In different people, when they were asking questions, he answered whatever the questions answered, and that perspective. He has taken love in general way, not a like one chapter we half finish. From discourses only we should take second chapter. Siddu has not taken. From different questions, answers when they asked about love. What is the divine love when somebody asks? So is there any guru necessary? Siddu, is it guru necessary? Baba said, remember my name. You'll reach me. You give the answer for this?